Yo, my name is Jamie, and how this video is really going to work is I'm going to run through the basics of how the system I run operates, and then also the more in-depth of, okay, here's all the workflows, here's everything like this. This video is for people that actually have some form of knowledge of high level. It's something that if you have no clue what it is, there's no point in even watching this because you're just going to see me whiz through things at a million miles an hour. You're not going to have any clue what anything means. And there's no snapshot because if you can't build this yourself, or if you're not willing to put in the work to be able to learn how to build this yourself, you're not going to get any value from it. Maybe you will. However, if something goes wrong, then you don't know how to fix it and it's just pointless. You need to know how to build something like this to be able to reap the rewards of how it works. Okay. That is absolutely essential. There's no point in me giving you a snapshot. It's not going to be any form of value towards you. You need to learn it yourself. You need to understand how this works. Take a couple ideas, implement them for yourself, and let me know if you have any questions, but I'm going to get straight into the video. So to cover first off, the first couple principles of scaling. So scale is an increase in volume, and something that allows scale is something that can handle an increase in volume. Okay. So there's no point in trying to scale to a ridiculous figure if your backend system is just going to be the thing that's inhibiting your growth. So I'm going to quickly run through how exactly the system is going to work and then what makes it work, if that makes sense. Okay. So first off, I'm running paid ads. So a lead will see the ad and then the lead will fill out the form, hopefully. If they visit the landing page, then they're either going to book a call or not. And if they don't book a call, or if they don't visit the landing page, they're going to be sent an SMS for their spot is allocated. Okay. And when the spot's allocated, I also receive a notification on my phone. So this will see, oh yes, this person has filled out your lead form. Call them up ASAP because this is the key thing. You want to call up these leads ASAP whilst they're still warm. If the lead didn't answer, then they're going to go into a little recall section. So I'll explain this a bit later, but this is basically the system that I've made to capture these leads absolutely regardless. Because especially when you're running paid ads, you want the biggest form of ROI on your ads as possible. So you want to literally squeeze your leads like it's a lemon trying to get out all the juice, okay? So if they do answer, then did you book in the lead, yes or no? If they say, hi mate, like I didn't even do this service, I didn't even fill out this form, then you're just going to add them to the future follow-up. If they are just an absolute crazy lead or they don't even have good contact information, you can just add them to like a lost section, which I'll explain in my CRM and how that works later. Did they book a call? Yes. Let's say they went to the landing page and they did book a call. Then they'll get sent to a thank you page, which has a video of me basically saying, hiya, this is how to get the most out of our call. Basically just kind of introduce myself, say that I want them there to have a laptop and to be in a quiet space, kind of set some boundaries and take a bit of control over that. It also just adds a nice little layer of communication between me and the client before the call as well. Because that's something you really want to try and foster as best show rate as you possibly can. So having that to basically improve your show rate as well, depending on whether they watch it or not. And that will also send an internal notification to say that they have booked their call. They'll get a confirmation email, a confirmation SMS as well. And if they didn't self-book, which means I've called them up or my team has called them up and then they have been booked in manually, then you don't call them up, obviously, because you've just spoken to them. If they have booked by themselves, you want to call them up ASAP and say, hi, I've literally just seen on the system that you've booked our call. And then you just want to kind of gauge the conversation with them. Do maybe a little bit of qualifying if your position calls for it. Like if you feel like you really want to nail down these leads. I mean, if you're starting out kind of new with a system like this, I'd say you don't really want to qualify them as much as you can. Just get all of the leads in as possible. But it's just to kind of prove to them that you're a human, okay? Just so it's something that they don't really forget. They then sent a case study email and an SMS to tell them this is what I've sent you in your email 1 day out from the meeting. Okay. So that's 1 day before the meeting actually happens. In terms of the calendar and stuff, I'll explain that later. And then they get sent with an email meeting link 2 hours before the meeting. 1 hour before the meeting, we'll get a notification on our phone from Go High Level saying call up the lead to make sure they've got their meeting link. So obviously this is if someone's available to do that. I mean, at the moment, I'm taking the sales call. So let's say I have a sales call back to back, then obviously I'm not going to be able to do that. However, calling them up just before to basically gauge whether they're going to show or not, but you can disguise it and saying, hi, mate, I've just sent you an email. Just let me know if it comes through with your meeting to join the link. It just kind of refreshes them, okay? And also, every single time you ever call someone up, double call them, double dial. And then the call happens. Is the call closed? Yes or no? If not, add them to a future follow-up. You can just chat to them in a couple months' time, okay? But this is where the true magic happens. And this is how I plan to scale this form of onboarding process, because the person who's taking the call from the internal sales team, after the deal is closed, will send us stuff on Stripe, etc., etc. The sales member will go to this page, fill out all the information whilst the client's on the call, and then the client will automatically get emailed and SMS this link here. Okay, this looks kind of complex. I've blurred this out so you don't just visit the page and sign my own contract. However, this pre-populates the content on the page that we're sending them to. So this information here, they fill out their full name, phone number, email, etc., their address, everything, all of this information. And this link basically tells the page that they're going to be sent to where to put this information from the form, okay? So as soon as the internal sales team guy presses submit, it fires an automation that automatically email and SMS is them this link, where then they can fill out a form. So you don't deep the contract, because realistically, just search up on ChatGPT, give me a contract, no one cares, okay? But this will automatically populate the name here, the phone number, address, email address, and etc. Okay. So this means that the client is sent automatically a contract. They can either fill this out on their own time or on the call. Who really cares? Because eventually they're going to pay you before they sent it. Do you get what I mean? Like, you would be able to get some from more payment down the line, but as long as they've crossed the barrier of paying you at the start, then everything's on them. If they don't sign a contract, it's their fault. They've been sent it. You want to confirm that they've received this contract, okay? After they read through it and stuff like that, they then get given an option on the date to sign. The only option they can choose is the day they are signing, because if someone is just absolutely tapped with technology, then they only have one option, okay? Then they'll draw in this box, draw in their signature, press submit. Once they press submit, it fires off an automation which automatically sends them a copy of their contract and also an email and SMS to the onboarding form. Okay, this sounds kind of complex, but once it's built out, you don't do anything. They do it. From the sales call to the onboarding call, all you have to do is show up to the onboarding call. There's nothing like that. And the reason why it facilitates an increase in volume is because you're not doing it. You're literally not doing it, and it's foolproof. Like, you'd have to have someone that is an absolute idiot to kind of not follow this. Do you see what I mean? They're getting an email and an SMS. If something's wrong, it's their fault. So it says to them, here, you've been sent this link to the onboarding form. Fill out the form in your own time and you'll be able to book an onboarding call, etc. They've also been sent a copy of the agreement, and also we have as well in the back end. So the way that kind of works in the back end is there's an email template of the onboarding form, and I'll kind of run you through the stuff later. Yes, so this is a copy of the contract that I sent. Something like this, with all the information pre-populated, with all of their information here, okay, and even their own signature. It pre-populates their signature here. And when they choose to open the onboarding link, they'll watch a quick video that tells them, okay, like, this is probably going to take, let's say, 15 minutes of your time. But do you know what? Once you fill this in, we're no longer going to be in contact with you. Like, we're not going to be chasing you up with little things like this. Oh, what's this detail? What's this detail? As soon as you've done this, life is much easier for you and me. And when they see something like this, when you see an onboarding system that's completely automated from a client's point of view, you want to reassure that they have purchased something good as soon as they have spent money. Because if they have spent money and then they're shaky about their purchase, their buyer's remorse is going to completely destroy any form of relationship you could build with them in the next month or two. Okay? Your churn rate is going to be so much higher than it would be if they purchase a product, immediately see an immaculate onboarding system. That is going to put faith in them. Okay? That is going to put an utterly super strong amount of faith. This is the thing. This is why you want to actually scale. You want something which is going to facilitate monthly recurring revenue, not just a client that's going to be on with you for 2 months and then churn. Okay. If you were to gain a client a week and then not lose a client for 6 months or so like this, let's say your churn rate was 2 times the average, you're going to be making so much more. Okay. So first impressions really matter when it comes to this. They then fill out an onboarding form that it's like a survey on high level. So it's not just a humongous form and then they fill it out, they see it and think, oh my God, I'm going to do this later. they go page by page and it doesn't tell them what page they're on. So then they don't like want to quit. They then book their onboarding call and then they get a minion gift because everyone who is middle-aged loves minion gifts. I'm sure you've seen on Facebook. Bonus step, watch the testimonial success story. Okay. So that so far is basically the pre-client process, which I thought I'd take off my camera so you could actually focus. And I'm now going to run through the CRM and then also the automations, because no point in me showing you the technical things if you don't know the general gist of what's going to happen as well, okay? So I've made this little graph here with the CRM. So it will start with new lead. New lead is when someone fills out the Facebook form, they then get pre-populated here immediately. This is partially for like troubleshooting reasons. You don't even have to have this step. You'll very, very rarely check the CRM and someone will be in here because it's just waiting to see if they book or not. So they're mainly held up here for about 5 minutes or so, and it basically checks to see whether they've booked a call or not. If they haven't booked a call, they then get put into call up ASAP, where then we get the notification on our phone, and then we'll call them up ASAP, try to book them in. If they don't pick up from this, they'll go into the recall workflow, which I'll speak through that system when I show you the automation because it's juicy. And if they do book the call, or if we book them in, the call is booked, they get sent a confirmation, the standard follow-up, and this kind of thing, okay? Once they're closed, then it's basically just going to remove them from all the workflows. And I like to keep everything in a CRM. I don't like to use the won or lost feature. I like to just keep everything in front of me. I don't bother with that. I know, let's say it's maybe not the best thing. Who cares? Because it works regardless. No show, if they don't show up to the call, then they basically go into the same similar thing as the recall. But I'll show you that, as I said. Future follow-up, you basically just get a notification every month to be like, yo, call up this guy. What I like to use as well is the note section high level, because with the note section, you can basically say, oh yeah, this guy's called John, he's got 3 kids, his wife doesn't love him, etc., etc. So then when you call up, you can basically say, oh, how was the argument with your wife and how was your daughter's clarinet lesson? Okay. And he's going to be like, wow, I spoke to this person a month ago. I didn't even remember who they were, but they clearly remember me. I'm going to buy their service, hypothetically. Lost is just to remove everyone. But I don't ever like to use this, okay? Because I don't ever like to say someone's lost. The only time I do that is if I pick up the phone, I can hear someone is working in a sweatshop and you can hear the voice in the background and they don't speak any English whatsoever and they filled out the form and they said their name's John Smith because it's clearly not. So, or if the contact information is completely wrong, okay? And in terms of the onboarding kind of pipeline I have, is basically like, you wouldn't even need to use this, okay? It just basically tracks to see where someone is. And also it's mainly a troubleshooting bit. So if someone's stuck in a certain section, then you'll know. So for example, contract sent, that they get put into that as soon as the sales team member fills out that form and presses submit. Once it's signed, it's obviously once they've signed the contract. And then we can see when they've completed the onboarding form. But if they were to complete the onboarding form but not book a call, then we know there's something severely wrong. So then this is like, as I said, a little troubleshooting thing. Launch call would be like after the onboarding call, we can then book a call to launch their ads. And then it's just a bit of management for us to basically, okay, this person's ready for launch. And then once they've launched, then the ads, they'll go into here. Once they're in here, they'll automatically get added to, okay, this is the first week. And then it's just so we can manage, okay, where are our clients actually at in this system? I've only got up to 3 months at the moment. I'm planning to obviously increase that because I don't want to churn anyone. I know it will happen though. So first week, and then it's like wait 7 days to second week, wait 7 days, wait a month, etc. This is just to kind of manage, okay, this is how long we've had the client. This is where they are in the system. Like, have they really been followed up for as much as they should been, etc., etc. So I'm going to run through the workflows of how this really happens, okay? And also, as I'm recording this, high level, we literally just had a new update. I like this little if-else kind of feature here. And this is the new lead-in form. I haven't got the lead form created yet, so this is why the trigger's not here. But it basically create a stage in the pipeline, wait 4 minutes, because they only really spend about 4 minutes to read the landing page, absolutely max if they're going to book a call. If they haven't done it after 4 minutes, they're not going to. It then adds them to the newsletter, because we just follow up with them weekly. And if they do decide to go forward for our service, then we'll take them out of the newsletter, because obviously the newsletter is meant to kind of reactivate them and sell to them. If they have booked a call, they removes them from this workflow. If they haven't, then it adds them to the call up ASAP, and it also removes them from this workflow, okay? taking us to the call up ASAP, what it would do is instantly send us a notification saying they haven't booked. Get in touch with them immediately, basically. And then they'll get emailed from here to basically say you did fill out the lead form, you didn't book a call, this kind of thing. 12-second wait. You don't have to put this. I like to put it because it just kind of adds a layer of non-automation. If let's say they get a notification for the email and then 12 seconds later they get a notification for an SMS, if they were to both come through at the same time, they know it's automated. It just kind of adds a nice little layer of stuff. Like, I'm sure it doesn't make too much difference, but who cares? 10-minute wait, we get a second notification. 25-minute wait, we get a third to basically say capture these leads up immediately. The speed you call up these leads that filled out the form is essential. I'll give you a quick story. One time I got a notification on my call on my phone from someone who just filled out a form. I called them up instantly. I say to him, "Hi mate, like I've seen you just fill out my form." He started bursting out laughing. Okay, because he was like, "Oh my God, I didn't expect it to be this efficient." That is the best possible first impression you could ever have to a client. That your system is too efficient, it actually makes them laugh. Because if you're going to invest your time and money into a company and they're the kind of people to call you up, bear in mind, this was like 10 o'clock at night. Okay, this is 10 o'clock at night in my time. And I get in contact with this guy and he was laughing. And he said, "Oh my God," I said to him, "I work all day." It just frames something so well to them. Gives them so much confidence because they want to work with people that are good on time frame and everything like this. So I hear you say, what if they don't pick up from the call up? Okay. Well, we'll manually add them to the section which is in recall in the CRM, if you remember. When we add them to this, it removes them from call up ASAP. And then what it does is it waits till 6 p.m. Why does it wait till 6 p.m.? Okay, so I'm running my ads in America. 6 p.m. for me is kind of a good time because it's about between 10 and 1 o'clock in the US time zones. So what I've just done is every single day at 6 o'clock UK time, I get manual actions here. Every single day. That means that every single day I know on my calendar, check my manual actions on high level at 6 o'clock, and I just call up the lead. Every single day at 6 o'clock is my call up lead time. And then 2 hours after that, they get sent an email and an SMS to say, "Oh, I tried to give you a call earlier." This is just in case I'm doing something at 6, something comes up, and it obviously won't take me 2 hours to call up these leads, but it's just like a little troubleshooting thing. And then the next day, there's another manual action at 6 o'clock. And then it gets sent another email and SMS. And then the next day, another one. And then it goes down a little bit on the email and the SMS. I'm not going to send them every single time, but kind of day 1, day 2, day 4, and day 7, I believe it is, that they send the email and SMS. But for 7 days straight, I'm calling them the exact same time. Okay. Each time I call them, I'm double dialing. And the way this will look in the like manual actions tab will be like this. So what will happen is I'll come to conversations and then go to manual actions and they'll all appear here. I literally just press let's start, it goes through, automatically calls everyone. And also it will tell me if they, actually let me go into this bit, hold on. It will tell me what day they are being recalled on and if it's because they didn't answer the call up or if it's because of a no-show. Because I have the same system built out for no-shows. Okay. So when I call them up, I can say, "Hi mate, like 4 days ago," this kind of thing. I can say an exact time frame. And I might as well take you through the no-show whilst I'm here. So it'll give you a 30-minute wait to actually see if they did join or not. Because I don't want to just instantly send out when maybe they did show up like 5 minutes after they get put in there, okay? Then get an email, text, the same thing, recall, no-show, day 1. And then it's the same, 1 day, 2 day, 4 day, 7 day. And these kind of copies are kind of what you expect. Some of them are quite funny. Yeah, we're nearly fully booked. If you're still interested in this, it's your last chance. Where is it? One of them is quite funny. Something like, "I don't actually know if this is the right contact information." Stuff like that, okay? However, if they have booked a call, then even if they book it themselves or it's manually put in by the team, then they'll get updated to call booked. They get removed from any form of, oh my goodness, any form of workflow which is associated to how they could be booked in, okay? Because you don't want anything overlapping. Internal notifications say, yes, they've been booked in. Confirmation email, 12-second wait. Again, SMS. They again get sent a case study email, just a little bit of like a touch-in point just before the meeting. They may not even see it, okay? but they'll also get an SMS to say that I've sent them that email. Then they get sent a meeting link email 2 hours before with the actual link. And then we'll get a notification an hour before to call them up. And they'll get sent an SMS like this just before the meeting that says automated message, just so they're slightly less pissed off and they don't feel as smothered by me spamming them, okay? So this kind of gives room for a bit of mercy to be like, oh, okay, this message is automated. He's not just hounding me. As I said, with the call close section, it just removes them from all workflows possible. And the triggers are essentially if the contact creation form has been submitted from the internal sales team, or if the pipeline stage has been changed to call closed. For the future follow-up, essentially it's the same thing apart from every 28 days, there'll be a future follow-up call, this kind of thing, through the manual actions, but it's just every like 30 days. And also we'll just check the note section for like what to speak about on these kind of calls. Super simple. Here's the weekly newsletter. The first 7 days, and then it's every 6 days. They just sent an email. I think it's about 10 weeks worth of this, and it's just as you'd expect. Classic call to action, book your call, everything like this. But they will be removed from this if they do go ahead with us. Then this is the workflow that once the contact creation form is submitted, it then creates an opportunity in the onboarding pipeline, and then it sends the contract to them, like the contract link via email and SMS, and you say, have you received the contract? Once they have signed the contract, I mean, it says here form submitted signature, because the signature box is actually a form. It then updates to contract signed. We then get an internal notification which sends us the email copy, and then they get emailed this as well, okay? And this will just look like the email template, as I said. It also emails the link to the onboarding funnel as well, okay? And these are super simple, okay? If they book an onboarding call, it has just a customized like confirmation text and email, and then a customized reminder and this kind of thing. There's not really any no-show frameworks for these because if they don't show up, then quite simply, okay, it's your fault. We just won't go ahead. Who cares? Okay. This is something interesting with the project management. And as you see here, once it's added to add to launch, it just waits 7 days, updates. So it's just a nice little timer. As I said, you can just kind of track who is flowing through your business at what point. So I hope you've gathered some form of inspiration to actually build a system like this. I mean, it is going to take some time. And oh my goodness, testing as well, it's just going to be long. You're going to find little tweaks and everything like this. You're going to have to watch from YouTube, etc. But as I said at the start of this video, is something that you need to know how to build it to actually get value from it. If I was to just give you a snapshot, okay, you'd plug it in and then it wouldn't quite be as you'd want, or you just wouldn't even care. And it maybe would work, but also I don't think you even deserve to have it work if you don't know how it works on the back end. And the best way to know how it works is to build it yourself. Okay. That's really the key thing. You need to know if something does go wrong, you need to know how to fix it. You can't just be like, oh no, it's gone wrong and this kind of thing. Just learn it, okay? Just learn it. It will take a bit of time. Do you know what? Make some time for it. Because realistically, as soon as this is sorted, it's completely fine. And if you're in the position to do so, just pay someone to do it. Go on Fiverr, find a Go High Level expert. Just send them, oh yeah, I want something built like this, and they'll do it for you. Either way, you need to know the reason behind it working. You can't just have some snapshot. Because also when you get a snapshot from anyone, there's always some extra stuff in it that doesn't really make sense. You have to figure it out. Not trying to do that, okay? When I do make snapshots, they're perfect. However, other people, it's gonna be messy, okay? So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if there's anything else you kind of need this alongside of this video. I just kind of made this video for the boys. I don't know if anyone wants to, I don't know, have any, just get in touch, okay? Let's get in touch if you have any questions.